Welcome seniors, I'm one of your college advisors, Cynthia, and today I will be walking you through the CSU application. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and get started on the Cal State Apply page. So we're going to scroll down and select a term that we want to apply for. So if you are a senior at the moment, you will be applying for fall 2021. Go ahead and select apply. You will then be prompted to the welcome page, and we're going to go ahead and select create an account. Once you're on this first create an account page, you will be asked to list your name, middle name if you have any, last name, as well as your email address and a phone number. Then you're going to go ahead and check this box if you agree to receive calls and texts from Cal State Apply. Once you do that, you're going to go ahead and select a username as well as a password and confirm that password, making sure that you fulfill these requirements for your password. Then you will go ahead and read the terms of use. And once you've read through them, you're going to go ahead and agree to these terms. The last question on this page asks if you're currently located in a European Union country, where you will go ahead and select no. And then you will go ahead and select create my account. Once you've put down your information on the first page, you will be asked to fill out this extended profile. So you are going to go ahead and hit the first one for number 1 because it's going to be your first bachelor's degree. And when it asked what your current educational status is, you will be putting graduating high school senior or equivalent. And then the next question it asks is, have you taken or earned college credits through a community college or university? For some of you, it might be yes. For some of you, it might be no. If you have taken concurrent enrollment courses, then you would hit yes. If you have not, you would go ahead and hit no. So for number 2, are you returning? So are you applying to return to the CSU campus? So no, because you've never officially attended a CSU campus as an undergraduate student. So go ahead and hit no. And for U.S. military status, you most likely will select no. You have not served in the U.S. military. And lastly, international applicant. You are not an international applicant, so you are going to go ahead and select no. And then it will ask you what U.S. state you regard as your permanent home. So you are going to go ahead and select California, and then you go ahead and save your changes. So the next step is going to be adding a program. So if you do qualify for a fee waiver, you are able to apply to 4 schools for free. If not, every school that you apply to will be $70. So on this page, you are going to first put down the program or organization. So what I like to do, for example, if you are applying to East Bay, you would go ahead and type in East Bay. Go ahead and search that, and East Bay will pop up along with all of their majors that they offer. So if you already know which major you want to apply to, you can go ahead and select it. If you don't, then you can go ahead and keep scrolling down to see which one is interesting to you. You can also, if you want to learn more about a specific major, you can go ahead and select it. So for example, I'm a little bit interested in computer science, but I don't know much about it at East Bay. I would go ahead and select it, and it gives you a little description of the program, and it takes you to other links to give you more in-depth information. So once you have chosen on a major for that school, you're going to go ahead and click the plus. And instead of hitting continue, you are just going to keep searching all the schools that you're interested in. So maybe I'll look up Sacramento. So Sacramento will pop up, and you don't necessarily have to do the same major at every school that you choose. You can, if there's a different major that interests you at Sac State that maybe East Bay doesn't have, then you can go ahead and select that, or you can do all the same majors for every school. It's completely up to you. So let's say I'll do criminal justice for Sac State. And for now, I only want to do 2. That's completely fine. I'll go ahead and hit continue because you can always go back to it. So again, like I mentioned, every application is $70. So in total with these 2, it would be $140. But if you know that you qualify for a fee waiver, don't worry. You later on in the application, it will ask for parents' income and then it will apply the fee waiver for you. So you're going to go ahead and hit continue. And so as you can see, this is the home screen for the CSU application. And there are 4 quadrants here to pretty much break down the information that they're going to ask for. So I'll go ahead and show you what each one looks like. So for personal information, there is a release statement. So go ahead and read through the certification, saying that you're releasing the information that you're providing. So for this next part, which is the CASP result release statement, none of you took the CASP because of COVID. So you're going to go ahead and select the last option, which is you did not complete the CASP assessment. Next, you're going to check the box to release your contact information and then hit save and continue. And here it will already have pre-filled your name because it already asked you when you created the application. The first 2 will ask if you have an alternate name. For example, let's say, my last name is Muro Hernandez, but sometimes in my paperwork, sometimes it'll only be listed as Muro, or it'll only be listed as Hernandez, or it'll be both, or sometimes my middle name is in there, sometimes it isn't. So if that is the case for you, then go ahead and put yes. If your name, if you just have one first name, one last name, that's it, then go ahead and put no. Preferred name, do you have a name that is different from your legal name that you would like to use? Yes or no. And legal sex, what is your legal sex, either male, female, or non-binary? Do you consider yourself to be? And you can choose any of these, or you can decline to state, completely up to yourself. How do you describe yourself? And how you express your gender identity. And then it will ask for your birthday, country of birth, city, state, county, along with applicant information. So for this section of applicant information, you would just read through them and select yes or no. For this next question, as determined by the court in your state of legal residence, are you or were you an emancipated minor? So if you don't know what an emancipated minor is, it means that your parents do not provide for you. They're not required to provide for you legally, and pretty much you are an adult legally as stated by the court, which for most of you it will be no. So if you've never even heard the term emancipated minor, then you likely are not an emancipated minor. Make sure to read all of the questions thoroughly, and once you have done that, you will go ahead and click save and continue. So the next section asks for your contact information. So you're going to go ahead and select your country. You're going to write down your current address, and then it will ask you if it is your permanent address. So if your current address is not your permanent address, go ahead and write down your permanent address. If it is, you can go ahead and select yes. And then you list your phone number as well as your email address and hit save and continue. So the next section asks for your citizenship and residency information. So the first question will ask if you are a citizen. So if you were born outside of the US, you can write down here what year you moved to the US. And I had previously stated that I was a resident of California, so that is why it is already filled in. And then it asks, do you claim California residency? So residency is different than citizenship. So residency is asking about California residency, which, regardless of your status, of your citizenship status or immigration status, if you have lived in California for various years and you consider that your home, then you are going to claim yes that you are claiming California residency. And then it'll ask, have you lived in California continuously since birth? You will either answer yes or no. And if you select no, it will ask, when did you begin to live in California? And you're going to go ahead and select the month, day, and year. And once you are done with that, you are going to go ahead and hit save and continue once again. The next section is race and ethnicity. So you're going to go ahead and select your race and ethnicity if you would like to. You can also, decline to state if you are not comfortable with that. You go ahead and select that and then save and continue. So the next section asks for parent or guardian information. So you can start by adding a parent or guardian. So you can select to do, I'm not adding any parent/guardian information, but that is only if you are an emancipated minor and, legally you are already an adult. However, you all should be adding at least one parent or guardian. So you're going to go ahead and put their first name, last name, their relationship to you, residency if they are a resident of California. Then you will write down their mailing address, their contact information, and you will either select yes or no if you give permission so that they communicate to the parent or guardian in regards to your application. That is completely up to you. You can choose yes or no. And the last one is if you give them permission to receive communication from the university. So again, you can select yes or no for them. The next section is other information. So in the other information, you will be asked if you have a social security number. So you will select yes or no. If you select yes, it will ask you to insert your social security number. If you select no, then you have to check that you acknowledge that you don't have a social security number. And once you check off one of those, you will be asked for your statewide student ID number, which is not your lunch number. So your statewide student ID number can be found on your transcript. And if you are still having trouble finding it, you can always go ahead and email either myself or your counselor, and we will get that to you. But just remember, it is not your student lunch number, so don't put that. And then it will ask your language proficiency. So what was your first language? You can go ahead and select that. If you had more than one first language, you can go ahead and select another one, as well as military status, which you already answered, which will already appear here. And next we'll ask if you are a military dependent. So were one of your parents or guardians in the military? And you're going to go ahead and select yes if they were and which one of these, or no if they are not. Next it will ask what your academic standing is. If you are in good academic standing in high school, you're going to select yes. If you are not, you're going to select no. But if you are applying for a CSU, you should have at least a 2.0, so you should be able to put yes for that one. And then it will ask about any academic infractions that you may have had. And the next we'll ask if you are interested in obtaining your teacher and or other educational credential. So you will either be selecting not interested or at a later time. So CalFresh, it asks if you are interested in CalFresh. You're going to select yes or no. I highly suggest selecting yes and actually applying for CalFresh when you are in college, because you will be able to receive free money to be able to buy groceries. So the next question asked about the California Promise. So a California Promise program is for California resident students who will be their first time being freshmen, being undergraduate freshmen, and it asks if you're interested in finishing, if you are going to a 4-year school, getting your bachelor's within 4 years, or if you are going to a community college and you would like to finish your degree in 2 years. So I suggest saying yes. And then lastly, it'll ask how you heard about Cal State Apply. And you can go ahead and select where you first heard about Cal State Apply from. And then you hit save and continue. So for the final section of the first quadrant, which is financial and parental information, so first you will read this section, and if you answer yes to any of these questions, you will select the one or more statements apply to me, and you will be considered independent. So as most of you will be selecting none of these apply, it will ask what your household size is, and it will be asking what the household size was in 2019. Make sure to include yourself, parents, and other household members. Next, we'll ask for income information. So you'll be asked what your parents' adjusted gross income for 2019 was, which is stated in their tax return, and if they had any untaxed income. You do not need to put the cents. So for example, if your family made, let's say, 50,200, and if you want to put the cents in it, it was, let's say, 70 cents. It won't pop up as cents, so just, don't include the cents because it will give you a very, very, very large number. So we do not want that. Next, you will be asked if you're interested in on-campus housing, so you can select yes or no. This doesn't guarantee you housing for any school, and it also isn't a contract saying, oh, you selected yes, you have to live on campus at whatever CSU you end up going to. It's just saying if you're interested in it. And the last part is selecting what their highest level of education was. And keep in mind to keep it consistent with who parent/guardian 1 is, and if you have a second one, who parent or guardian number 2 is, and keep it consistent throughout your college applications as well as your financial aid application so you don't get confused. Once you do that, hit save and continue. So once you have completed the first section, it will take you to the second section, which is your academic information. So first, you will need to add a high school. But before you do that, it is recommended that you link your California colleges because sometimes you already have your classes in your California colleges account and it will automatically switch it over to you. Some of you have done this in high school, specifically Tennyson. I know we've gone into your classrooms a couple times to have you input your classes. So how you do that is you click the California colleges and then you hit connect. You will then it will redirect you to this site and you will go ahead and sign in with Google. You will go ahead and insert your HUSD email. So I know we always tell you don't use your HUSD email, but for this you do need your HUSD email, and then it will take you to the HUSD login site where you put your password, which is usually your lunch number unless you have already changed it before. Once you've done that, it'll bring you back and you can add a high school if none of your information on California colleges transfers over. So you're going to go ahead and select the country, US, state. I will go ahead and put Hayward. So you select schools in Hayward, California, and you go down and select your high school. You will select the date that you started. It only asks for month and year. So as a senior, you would have started in 2017 and you will be graduating, some of you in May, some of you in June of 2021. Next, you will select the term type of your school. So Tennyson, you are semester. LPS, you're a full year, but most of you should be semester. And if you're not sure, if you only got one letter grade for the year, you're a full year. If you get 2 grades each year, then you are semester, and you will go ahead and save the school. Quick side note for anyone who took a UC Scout course, you're going to go to add high school, and in the city you're going to put Santa Clara, and in the options it will say Scout by University of California. So you're going to go ahead and add that high school and it will be a semester, and then from there you can go ahead and add later on the class that you did take. Once you have added the school that you attended, the year that you've attended, and the term type, you will go ahead and select I have or will graduate with my high school diploma. You are going to again select the high school. It only brings down one school, and then the date that you are expected to receive it. So I will go ahead and select the date and save and continue. Next, it asks, did you attend high school, secondary school outside of the United States? No. Next, we'll ask if you attended any colleges. So if you did do any concurrent enrollment at a community college or any other school, you're going to go ahead and add that right now. So let's say I did a course at Chabot. It will then ask you if you obtained or are planning to obtain a degree from this university. I will go ahead and select no. It will then ask what type of term system does this college or university use. And Chabot is semester, so I selected that. It will ask when you attended, first, last semester. So once you selected yes or no, if you did attend a college while you were in high school, the next section is the high school coursework. So this is the super fun part that California colleges could have helped you with if you already had the information there. If not, you will go ahead and just start by grade level. So I always start with 9th grade. You might be wondering why 7th and 8th grade is here. So some of you might have taken a foreign language in 7th or 8th grade, and that counts as part of your foreign language requirements for your A through Gs. So let's say if you took Spanish 1 in 8th grade, you can go ahead and select 8th grade. Or if you took, for example, Algebra 1 or Geometry in 7th or 8th grade, you can go ahead and select that as well. If not, you can go ahead and go straight into 9th grade. And you are going to select the year. This is the correct year, 2017-2018. So once you have that selected, you will press the check mark. So always, always, always make sure to press the check mark once you are done, or else it will not save your information. So this is when it's very handy to have your transcript right next to you, so you can just look back and forth at it. So you are going to go, one by one. For example, I will start off with English, and it will drop down every English class that is offered at the school that you selected. So English 9. English 9, you will go ahead and select English 9. So for course type, it will be none unless it was an AP course, IB, which is not offered at your school, or a honors course. So English 9 is regular. So I'm going to keep that as none. And then for fall, you're going to go ahead and put the grade that you received for fall and spring semester. Once you have completed that, you press the check mark. And you just keep doing that with all your classes. Make sure to only put A through G classes. So for example, PE is not an A through G, so it will not appear there. Even if you try to spell it out, physical education, not there. However, physics and physiology is. So just remember what A through G classes actually are. Once you have completed 9th grade, you can go ahead and add another grade level. So I will go ahead and just skip to 12th grade. And 12th grade is 2020-2021. Go ahead and hit the check mark. And so some seniors get confused with government and economics. So let's say you are taking American government, just regular American government. Fall, you are currently in it right now, so you do not have a grade yet. So you will put in progress because, your grade is in progress. So for spring, you might be inclined to put planned because you are planning on continuing it. However, government is only one semester and the other semester is economics. So for government, you're actually going to put no grade. Hit the check mark, and then you will go ahead and put economics. Economics and economics P is the same thing. And because you are taking American government first semester, you will have no grade. However, you are taking it spring, so it will be planned. So that is one thing that a lot of people get confused with the government economics. People are like, isn't government the whole year? Technically, it's government / economics. So it's one semester of one and one semester of the other. Oh, oops, I just noticed I've been putting them in the wrong spot. So just pretend that I did these two up here. And you can easily just delete. And Oh yeah, so let's say add grade level in 11th grade, right? 2019, 2020. So let's say in 11th grade you took geometry, but you got a D both semesters, so technically you did not pass, you did not get a C or higher, and let's say you retook it in the summer. So instead of adding a summer course, what you would do is you would put your passing score that you received in the summer for 11th grade geometry. So you would put geometry, none, and for fall and spring, you would put the passing score that you got instead of the original letter grade of a D that you got for each semester. And keep in mind, this is only for the CSU application. This is not something that you can do for the UC application or private school applications. So if you did take a summer course that was not to make up a class that you did not pass, then that is when you would go ahead and select add summer course, add the grade as well as the year, and click the little check mark and then add the class. So for example, if you wanted to get ahead, let's say you took Algebra 1 ninth grade year and in the summer you wanted to take geometry so that starting 10th grade year you could go straight into Algebra 2. If that's the case, then you can go ahead and add the summer course. But if you took a summer class to make up for a class that you had previously failed, then you do not need to add a summer course. You just replace the passing grade with your original non-passing grade. So I wanted to show you what the final product was for what I mentioned. So as you can see for 12th grade, here are all the courses listed. Some of them are AP, some of them are honors, and as you can see for most of them, in fall, are in progress except for economics because like I mentioned, economics is second semester. So there's going to be no grade for fall, but it is planned for spring. And for government, you are currently in government, so it's in progress. However, it's only for the first semester, so you will have no grade for spring semester and everything else is planned. And once you fill everything out, you can go ahead and save and continue. Once you finish inputting all your high school coursework, if you did take any college courses, that will be the next section where you already stated what school you took extra classes in, and then you hit continue. So it will ask you what term you took the course in, what year, what your academic status was. So go ahead and select freshman for all of the classes that you've taken. Don't think of it as, oh, I was a junior in high school when I took this course. No, it's asking with respect to your academic status in college. So all of you would be considered freshmen. So go ahead and select freshman. And if you are currently in the class, go ahead and put in progress / planned, or if you already completed it, hit completed, and save it. And once you've saved it, you can go ahead and add a course, and you are going to put the course code, the course title, the subject, as well as the credits that you received and your grade. And it can either be a number or a letter grade, however the school that you took it at, whatever their grade system was. And then you go ahead and hit save and then add any more if you did take more. If not, then you will go to the A through G matching. And this is what the A through G matching is. So it pretty much adds up all of the courses that you took in your high school coursework and college coursework, if any, and it adds it up. So as you can see, your A through Gs, so it will tell you how many years of what you completed and how many are required. So remember all the ILPs that we've done, and I tell you, you know, you need this many years of this, you need this many years of that. This is why it breaks it down for you, and then it will tell you the total number of years that you have completed. So it adds up all the A through G courses that you've taken, and then it calculates your GPA. So you're going to go ahead and hit accept and save if this looks good. If not, you can go ahead and update A through G courses and make sure that everything is correct. So this next section is for standardized tests. Most of you did not take the SAT or ACT. However, some of you did take AP exams. So if you did not take any ACT, SAT, AP exam, then you can go ahead and select I'm not adding any standardized tests. If you did, however, for example, do AP, you're going to go ahead and add AP, and you're going to select what course it was, what AP exam it was. If you took it already, so it would be yes. If you have already, you can also insert the exams that you are planning on taking. So for example, if you are in AP Government right now and you're planning on taking the AP exam, you still want to add it in this section. And if you haven't, you are going to put the day that you plan on it, which should be May 2021. And if you already have, it would have either been May 2020 or June 2020, or if you took any year prior to that, and also include the AP exam score. So even if you did receive a 1 or 2, I still highly, highly, highly recommend and suggest that you add those AP exams. Even if, they weren't a passing score, it still looks good and it shows that you followed through, you took the AP course, and at least you tried to take the AP exam. Awesome, so the standardized testing was the last section. Don't mind this not being green because there are some information that I'm going to add later on. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to skip over to the next one, which is supporting information. So for the supporting information, it asked about educational programs and work experience. So it has a list of different educational programs that you might have participated in. So just go through the list and select yes or no if you did participate in it or not. So here you are going to put down how many hours on average you worked weekly over the most recent 36 months. If you did not work at all, you can go ahead and just put 0 hours. And then it asks for extracurricular program hours of participation and leadership. So it just asks for an average of weekly participation. So, think of everything that you've participated in and just add it together and select one of these. And then hit save and continue. The next section is where it asks about EOP, which is the Educational Opportunity Program. I know I've talked to some of you or most of you about it, but the EOP program is pretty much for first generation and or low income students in college. So it's very similar to Upward Bound. However, it is just continued at the college level. So EOP, I definitely recommend that y'all apply. So you would select yes, or you can select yes, I will return later to complete these EOP questions. I'm going to go ahead and select yes so you can see the questions. But it does ask if you attended a CSU, were you enrolled in an EOP? Not applicable because you have not attended a CSU before. And then it asks for parent information, where you plan to live in college, how many brothers or sisters in K through 12, any in college, any of them received a bachelor's degree, and what languages are spoken at home. And once you do that, you hit save and continue. So after you filled out the first section of the EOP, it then asks if you have completed your questions. So if you haven't, you can always come back and complete it. However, if you do yes, then it asks for more information. So it asks that you put name of parent guardian, their occupation, and their occupation 10 years ago. So remember to keep in mind who was parent guardian number 1, because this is all about them first. And then if you do have a second parent or guardian, you select yes, and it'll ask for the same information, but of parent guardian number 2. If you do not, then you just select no. It then asks for their financial status, what their estimated income is for 2021, so for next year, their estimated income for this year, the same thing for parent guardian number 2 if there is one, and then it asks for the total size of the household, including you, including parents, guardians, including dependent children and other dependents. And then it'll ask if you are independent of parental support. So if your parents do not support you at all, then you would go ahead and put no. If they do, you would go ahead and put yes, and then hit save and continue. So once you filled out your parent, guardian information and financial status, you are again asked if you have completed the question. So if you do no, you're done for now. If you hit yes, here are the questions. So there are 5 questions that you have to answer, and there is a word limit. So you have a limit of 2,500 for each response. So I definitely suggest that you don't start typing on the application. I suggest you copy and paste these questions onto a Google document so that you don't lose your responses, because it will time you out after a while. So you can go ahead and copy and paste them so you know what questions they are, and then just go ahead and hit no, I will return to complete these EOP questions, and you can come back later. And then you hit save and continue. Either once you hit you will return or once you completed the questions, go ahead and do save and continue. And the last part is your EOP recommendation. So you do need 2 recommendations. They aren't letters of recommendation. It asks specific questions to your recommenders. So what you will do, you can also return later to complete them. However, might as well do them now. All it asks for is the recommender's information. So first, last name, and their email, as well as, well, it already has the recommendation deadline, which is 2 weeks from the day that this request is sent. However, the recommender does have, depending on the school, the specific school that you're applying to, they usually have until mid to late January to fill those out. But of course, you want them to be completed earlier rather than later. And you can also include a personal message to your recommender. For example,
Hello, Mr. Garcia. I would like to apply for EOP and would greatly appreciate if you could fill out a recommendation for me.
So you can do something as simple as that. I do suggest saying if they do require more information to feel free to contact you. And of course, we go over this all the time. If you ever do need a letter of recommendation or a recommendation form filled out, you want to make sure that you ask someone that you know, that knows you, that you haven't just met, and that can speak very good about you. And it can be a teacher, it can be a counselor, it can be an advisor, it could be me, it could be Omar, it could be Layla, it could be, anyone that isn't, a family member. So you would select yes or no if you want to waive your right to access this information, and, give permission to contact the recommender, and give permission that schools that you're applying to can contact the recommender. So once you fill that out, you save this EOP recommendation request and it will be emailed. So back to the home screen, once you have completed the personal information, your academic history, your supporting information, and the program materials already shows as completed because that was the first section that they asked for you to select the schools and the majors that you wanted to select. I had selected East Bay Computer Science and Sacramento Criminal Justice. You can always select on the specific school and it tells you a little bit more details. Some programs will require you to have an alternate major. So it will come up here as incomplete. It won't be fully green. So that's how you'll know that you have to do something else, provide more information for that school or program. But if everything is green, you can go ahead and hit submit application, and it'll give you a breakdown again of the school, the major, the deadline. And once everything is actually green on the home screen, you will have the option to hit submit for one school, submit for the other school, or just submit all. And again, right here, it shows what applications are ready for submission. None, because I haven't filled out all the information for the application and your total fees. So once your applications are actually ready for submission, the total fee, if you know for a fact that you should be receiving a fee waiver, then your total fee should go to 0. However, if you do not qualify, then this amount stays, and there will be a little link here that says show fee waiver status, and you can click right here, show fee waiver status, and it'll tell you either you do not qualify based off of your family income, or it'll tell you like 2 out of 4 that you've used 2 out of your 4 fee waivers. Once you've added all the schools that you wanted to apply for and your submit all button is blue, you can go ahead and select the button. If you do not qualify for a fee waiver, or if you do qualify for a fee waiver but you want to apply to more than 4 schools, the next page will prompt you to submit your payment, and once you submit your payment, you will get a confirmation page saying that all your applications have been successfully turned in. So congratulations, you have officially applied to the CSU system.